Mortal Kombat 1995 is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Now, with the latest Mortal Kombat installment coming to theaters very soon, I thought, why don't we all go back to the time where it all started? Mortal Kombat is basically a tournament that takes place every generation. It takes place between the members of Earth as well as the Outworld. Now, Outworld has been very victorious. They won 9 of these tournaments. Now, the 10th tournament is what is remaining, which is when this movie takes place. If they win this 10th tournament, it's game over for Earth, basically take over the Earth realm. So the stakes are pretty high. Now I'm going to get into the characters of this movie and how they are portrayed, because you must understand something. Mortal Kombat is all about the characters. The characters are one that give identity to Mortal Kombat. Without them, there is no Mortal Kombat. So if you want to get a Mortal Kombat movie right, you have to get the characters right. It is that simple. So let's dive in. Let's start off with Liu Kang. Now, Liu Kang is basically the lead in this film. For him, it's not just entering the Mortal Kombat and winning. It's not about personal glory at all. For him, it's a revenge path. The leader of the Outworld, Shang Tsung, killed him. He killed his brother. And this has had a major emotional effect on him. So for him, it's not just winning the tournament, it's about cutting off the head of the snake. Or should I say, the head of the dragon. And I would say is portrayed pretty well here. And one thing I can tell confidently off the bat is he's a far better lead than Cole Young. Cole Young from 2021 was not really lead material. He was boring. He was lame. I mean, his powers were kind of boring, and he's not even a Mortal Kombat character. He's made specifically for the film, I guess, to make it more relatable to the audience. Kang, however, he's a more established character. He's very famous and established in the games, and so he already has his character as well as his charm cut out for him. The actor had to bring it from the games into the movie, and I think he did a pretty good job. Now let's talk about Johnny Cage. Now Johnny Cage is one of my most favorite Mortal Kombat characters, and he always will be. So for me, it was very important that he's done right. I would say Lyndon Ashby did a very fine job with this character. He's got certain ticks that make Johnny Cage very well. For example, that cool and calm demeanor in any situation. I mean, he is himself in any situation. That is fantastic and something that can be emulated by all of us in real life. And of course, that casual but a lovable arrogance about him, which really defines him. It's a trademark of the character. He got that down pretty damn well. However, I would say that overall his charm is not still not up to the same level as the source character from the video games. But that's all right. That's pretty much a small nitpick. And I would say Ashby did a very good job overall. However, there's another nitpick that I really felt could have been improved upon. His sunglasses. He barely wears it in one scene in the movie. Sunglasses is synonymous with Johnny Cage. It's part of his wardrobe. I mean, you can't just leave it out. I mean, they did the same mistake with Dread with Sylvester Stallone. He barely put on his helmet. He was like just Stallone throughout the entire movie. So I think they did the same mistake here. They could have just kept his glass on for a few more scenes in order to represent the character a bit better. Now, I cannot wait what Carl Urban does with the character, because he knocks it out of the park with every role he gets. So I can't wait what he brings to the table with this character. However, all these pales in comparison, and it is nothing compared to the abysmal portrayal of Kano. Kano is arguably one of the most famous and recognizable characters in Mortal Kombat. He has a huge fan base. His lines are quotable. But the script in this movie treated him very badly. He did not give him the recognition and the popularity he deserves. He literally was a dumb brute. He was just speaking little Aussie. He was just raising his hand. He had been one scene. His lifespan was very short in this movie. It was a major disservice for the character. Aesthetically, he was fine. Trevor Goddard did a fine job, looking like Kano. He had the build, he had the right look, he had the bionic eye, which the 2021 version still lacks. However, that's where it ends. The aesthetics are fine, but the portrayal was a huge letdown, and I think the script could have done far better portraying this very famous character. Josh Lawson, on the other hand, did wonderful as Kano. He was epic as Kano. He brought the menace, the dark humor, the charm, as well as the self-centeredness, like he's willing to do anything to make his own ends meet. And he's not afraid to cross the lines that should never be crossed. I mean, that is Kano, the chaotic, messy individual. That was sorely missing in the 1995 version, and I just can't get over it. Now, when it comes to Raiden, I think Christopher Lambert did all right. Did a pretty good job with whatever he was given in the script. However, I would like to say that I think he was a bit miscast in this film. I mean, they could have casted someone better, more suited to the role. I mean, don't get me wrong, Lambert is a wonderful actor. I mean, I loved him in Highlander. He's a very talented actor, definitely knows his stuff. However, this role was not the best fit for him. But I will interject. He did bring out the mysterious backroom charm with this character. He was like present in certain places only. He never, I think true to the character, he never took place. He never had his own fight scene. He was never present beyond a certain screen time. Like he was just there as a mentor. He's a teacher. He's meant to guide. That's it. I mean, that may sound boring, but you got to understand there's no Mortal Kombat. It's not really a Mortal Kombat film without the presence of Raiden. Raiden has to be present in some form, in some way, in every Mortal Kombat film. Otherwise, it's not really Mortal Kombat. So in his case, little is more. That's how I can put it. Now, if I finally Goro is my starting entry level character in Mortal Kombat. When I first started playing Mortal Kombat on the PC, he was the first character I played with. So he'll always remain special to me. 1995 gets him very, very right. 2021 version was just one, he was just a monster who just threw people around with one or two words of dialogue. But this one had a personality. He knew he was the best fighter. He knew he had the skills. He knew no one can beat him. So he had that arrogance about him, which will ultimately lead to his literal downfall. So because of his personality, and I felt he was more well fleshed out. And speaking of fleshed out, his aesthetics was just wonderful. I think the choice to make a rubber suit and animatronics pivotal in this movie rather than just using bad CGI was a very good decision. It really fleshed him out well. He had that scintillating organic look, which was really went well. So I think Goro was done very well in this film as compared to 2021 version, where he anyways had a very limited screen time and could have been done better. Now let's get to the fight choreography in this film. It was great. It really looks like the stuntmen and the filmmakers really put effort in to make this look as dynamic and organic as possible. I enjoyed the fight scenes, especially the one with Johnny Cage as well as Scorpion, as when they went to different realms. But there's also a major problem here. That is not enough for Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is not an ordinary tournament, guys. It has superpowered individuals. The powers they have is not just a display. It's not just to look cool. It defines them. It is characteristic to them. You see the powers, you recognize the character. So it is very important that at least in this franchise, you couple the stunt work with the right CGI portraying the right powers. I think this is where it fell short. The CGI was very lackluster. I mean, you can easily make out it's very outdated, did not age well at all. But this is also a forgivable mistake. It's understandable because it came out in 1995. It was a product of its time and was limited by the technology of its time. So you cannot really expect the CGI level that we see today. However, it is also limited by the fact that it was PG-13. PG-13 is not for Mortal Kombat, guys. If you've seen the brutalities and the fatalities, Mortal Kombat has to have minimum an R rating in order to deliver us the scenes we deserve. That obviously didn't happen. Maybe they want to reach a wider audience, but I feel it was not a very good decision, a very smart decision. And the fact that it only had $20 million. I mean, if the budget is so low, if you have to get more creative, you can only stretch so far. So I felt all these were limiting factors into why we did not really get the Mortal Kombat we truly deserve. But overall, it was still a very good product. The set designs were pretty much something else. It was pretty damn good. You could really bought the essence of Mortal Kombat. And they coupled, and the best part is, it also had the right soundtrack. That really brought out the essence of the characters and, of course, the set design. However, there were certain set designs in this movie, especially during the fight scenes, where it reminded me a lot about Enter the Dragon. That's right. They really felt like it had a similar aesthetic. And I wish they had pushed the outwardly essence a little more. They had given us a little more time in the outworld, made the scenes a little more like non-earthly, so that we get more of the Mortal Kombat flavor. That's where I think it was a bit lacking. But of course, it was overall a very good work. But I just felt that if they had pushed the outward factor a little more, it would have been much more true to the franchise. Now, don't get me started on the Reptile. Reptile was very poorly done in this film, and the filmmakers and this film as a whole was not ready for this character. I mean, when he was in his reptilian form, the CGI is some of the worst I've ever seen. He looked like a cartoon, basically. It was not. They did a mistake by including this character. They could have just omitted him out altogether. He would have not made any difference in the movie. They were just not ready for his character, guys. Like I said, the CGI is not up to the mark. I guess in his human form is fine, but let's just say his CGI was Spawn bad, Spawn level bad. Let me just put it at that. Now, Shang Tsung himself had the best aesthetic in this movie. He looked exactly like the video game. Like I said, he was just directly from the video game. You just put him in the film. He was just perfect looking. So they did a wonderful job with the aesthetics. And also the portrayal was fine. It was good enough for the movie. But the aesthetics was a strong point when it comes to Shang Tsung. He was the best looking character in this film. Overall, guys, I would like to say Mortal Kombat 1995, yeah, it does have its problems. It is flawed. However, when it comes to nostalgia, when it comes to the 90s charm, the 90s warmth you feel, and to being the first film to start it all, nothing can replace this movie. It is fantastic. It's our childhood fantasy. Imagine your favorite characters coming onto screen and then presenting itself to us. You can't beat that. No other movie will ever, no matter how good they are, they will never beat this movie. And it is, I would say, it's Anderson's one of Anderson's very good movies. I mean, Paul W. S. Anderson's movies, some of them are not exactly fan favorites, but this one is one of his best works, I would say, and it is widely regarded as one of the most famous and successful video game adaptations. So it has a lot going for it. Any limitations it has is understandable, but it's a great movie overall. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this movie? I mean, have you seen it? Is it a fatality or absolute victory, like flawless victory? What is this movie to you guys? Do let me know in the comments below, and do consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It would mean a lot to me as a growing YouTuber. And let's embrace cinema together. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.